Hello, everybody. Good evening once again. Uh, you know, we ask ourselves this question. It is now 9:12 p.m. This is season 1, episode 9 of the dating and marriage. Dating. You know, I've already explained everything, and from the beginning, I've been explaining to you about dating and about marriage. Because marriage, you gotta understand that it is a very serious, down to earth responsibility on both your parts, like you and your wife. You are now entering into you're entering into a new phase in life. In other words, you grew up with your mother and father. You learn what it was to sleep with your mother and father together. You learn to depend upon your mom and dad, and you grew up with your siblings, fighting and arguing and loving each other and all that kind of stuff and everything. That's all part of the whole freaking family thing. Okay, there's nothing mysterious about it. Okay, and you grew up loving your parents and your parents loving you, and then one day you started growing up and you became a young lady or a young man, and now you are in search for a companion, a friend to hang out with and go out to the mall with the rest of the gang, stuff like that. And you go to your mother, ask for advice, or your father, you ask for advice, or maybe the boy goes to the father, dad, I like this girl, and I don't know what to do, I don't know how to approach this thing. And then your father gives you advice and gives you, you know, some stuff, how to approach the situation. And, and your father teaches you what to do and what not to do and how to do it. So you learn through that. You already know what to do. Your father already told you what to do. So you follow that rule. Get it? Same thing with the girl. She goes to her mother, say, Mom, blah, 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 bada bing, bada boom. And the first thing that the mother is going to tell her daughter, or even the father, is don't let no man touch you in your private parts. Don't let him touch you in your breast. Don't let him touch you down there and all that kind of stuff. They're going to teach you. They're going to show you the ropes. They're going to, if you're a young lady, you got to seek respect and you got to be respected. You cannot just go over there and have this guy touch you like a freaking loaf of bread. People when they go to Walmart, they go to HEB or Kroger, or they go to ShopRite and Pathmark and all that stuff, and they go start touching the bread, Or when the bread comes to the house, when they take the bread home, they start touching all the place and cutting it and everything. Well, that's what the father and mother will tell the daughter is don't let the guy like makes you think that you're some kind of a bottle roll, like touching you all over the place, because that's a lack of respect. That's a lack of respect. So you go out with this guy and you set the boundaries, you set the everything, and then your boyfriend is going to learn that you got morals, and also the man the guy, the boy, also has to learn to put boundaries as well. No sex until marriage. That's the typical thing that we do with our children is, no sex until marriage. When you get married, you could do whatever comes out of your underwear. I don't care. That's your business. Stay over there. Go to your honeymoon and do whatever you gotta do, and go hang out and do the Macarena with this guy, and what the hell do I care? You're a young girl, you know what to do, and that's it. Now you're married, and now you have this boy and this man, and now you're gonna start living together. Now you're gonna start, renting an apartment or buying a house, and now you're gonna move in together. Now you're gonna buy furniture, and now it's gonna be a bunch of rules where you're gonna have to answer up to him, or he has to answer to you. Buying things and investing, and everything is two heads are better than one. The Bible says two heads are better than one. So that means that two heads, they put everything together, and then everything will work out. So you cannot just have one head. You're gonna have two heads working together in unison and in agreement and mutual respect. Anyway, my niece gave me this cup. We got them downstairs. They're real good. They got female ones, they got male ones. So she said this one fits me better because of the glasses. Anyway, so now, but before you get married, you are discovering yourself. You are discovering what she likes and what he likes. Why he don't like, why she doesn't like. You're discovering yourself. You're like Christopher Columbus discovering America. You want to discover and find out what's going on here. So you're discovering each other little by little, month by month, year by year, depending how long you take before you get married. And then when you get married, and you go down the aisle, everything is going to be a first thing. Dating is the first thing you're dating. They call it courtship. No, courtship. Courtship. Is it a ship or chip? Anyway, courtship. That's where you begin at. In Spanish, noviazgo. Saliendo, por ahí, whatever. And then the time comes when you're going to get engaged. And now you're going to get more serious now. And now you're going to find a way to talk to the father and mother and sit down with them like a man and say, listen, I want to marry your daughter, and I think we're ready, and I got a job, she got a job, or maybe she hasn't got a job, but you got a job, because a man's supposed to have a job. And I think I'm able to support my wife with the money I'm going to be making. I bought a house, or I'm going to buy a house, or I got an apartment, or I'm going to get an apartment, and I'm working on all that stuff and everything, that when I receive her to myself, she becomes my wife, and then I'm going to take care of her, because now you left your protection of your father and mother, and now you're falling under another protection, which is your husband. He's going to be over you. The Bible says that your desire is going to be for your husband. That's what the Bible says, and leave it alone. Don't get theological nonsense about debates and maybe no. The Bible put it that way. God told Eve, your desire is going to be for your husband, and your husband is going to rule over you. You understand? So now you get it? Now you got it? Okay, another step. And then you get married, and you're still discovering yourself. Now you both are virgins, and now you're going to say, wow, how you're going to be going like, wow, how am I going to begin and start? And, there's a beginning for everything, so start for everything. And then you begin to discover yourselves in your bodies, and now you begin to see yourselves naked, which you never didn't see her naked. now you're going to see him or her naked, and now you're going to be discovering each other. That's it's all, everything is all discovery. And then once you get that down packed, now you know who she is, how she is, and what she likes, she doesn't like, whatever. And then you take it from there, and then later on, you're going to have children. And that's another discovery. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. What is this? You know, she's going to learn. Everybody's going to learn. So that's how it is. And you take it from there. And that's it. And then you have children. And then you're going to have grandchildren in the future. Sometime, maybe 30 years from now. I don't know. And then, but what the thing is, a person that is divorced, okay, you don't need to discover nothing. You just get married with that person, and you get married again with that person. You find another person, you get married, and that's it. There's nothing to discover. There's no moon landing, nothing. You already know the ropes, and she knows the ropes. What it was expected, and that's it. And you go on with your life with her, and you move in together, and that's it. There's nothing to learn. Maybe learn math. I don't know. Maybe both of you go to college and learn calculus. But the whole premise is discovering each other. That's all it is. From the beginning, throughout your lives, until you find out that you're getting old, and now you're going to discover another thing. Oh, I'm getting old. Okay, my hip hurts, and this hurts. And you're going to be discovering more stuff. And then when you got children, and they get married, they go through the same thing you went through, and then you give them advice like your father and mother gave you the advice. So it's all over, repeating, generation upon generation and generation for thousands of years, whatever. So what happened, there's nothing, if you move in with somebody and you're not married, and you move in with each other, you're not discovering nothing. You're not, you first of all, you're breaking the law. You're breaking the law because you're supposed to be married. And then you're going to turn around and say, oh, we're going to get married now. So there's nothing to discover but nothing. You guys already know each other for a long time. What is to learn? To learn that you're going to discover that you're going to owe alimony or child support. Okay? That's another learning process. Ooh, you don't want to go there. But marriage is a very serious thing, my friend. You have to, when you're dating, you got to do it right. When you get married, do it right. Don't play games. Don't play games, because let me tell you, if you hurt that woman, if you hurt that man, it's called, you're a traitor. You committed treason, meaning that you went to mess with somebody else other than your husband, or husband, you went to mess with somebody else other than your wife, and now you both are in violation of the Bible said thou shalt not commit adultery. So now you guys committed adultery, and now comes the inevitable, which now you're going to have to get separated because you don't like what she did, or you don't like what he did, and you cannot take that, or he cannot take that. It's very terrible. It's very terrible. The transition is horrible. You know, when my wife, my first wife left me, it was hard. Not hard per se, but I understood, and I grasped it. I turned it upside down. I turn it this way, that way, just to figure it out. And I went through it, and that's it. And my second wife, of course, as I told you before, it was a different ballgame altogether. Jesus, it brings sadness to just think about it, how this person was so toxic and so horrible. And that is why you have to be very sure who you get married with. You gotta check out this person, where the heck they're coming from. Give them a year, maybe a year or two. Check them out. Find out what they're doing, what they're up to, what makes them click, and what makes them get angry, what makes them become toxic. You have to do your research and check this person out to see what makes this person what it is. We see a strong character guy. Is a person is strong. The person is a mature person. He knows how to handle life and everything. He knows how to maneuver through life, all that stuff. But if the person is a freaking wimpy guy, he don't care, no respect whatsoever, and then you have to let it go, because what's going to happen if you get married with that guy, what's going to happen, he's going to do it to you and worse. You gotta be careful. Some people cannot control their passions. That's why they kill their spouses and they go crazy and they kill themselves. It's because this person is so taken up with you. He loves you. He built this relationship. He built this home. And now you're turning around and you want to play the fool. And you think you're going to get away with it when he or she don't know how to handle their passions, and they go commit crime and kill you and kill somebody else. That is why if you're going to act stupid, you're going to act like a moron, you're going to act like a loose person, don't get married. Like I said before, a lot of people are not cut for marriage. A lot of people are not cut for dating. A lot of people are not cut for nothing. Just leave it alone. Because if you're going to get married and then turn around and play dirty at your wife or your husband, you're the one that's going to lose, not him or not her. Remember that rule of thumb. You're gonna lose. You're the one that is gonna be found with the egg in your mouth, like a dog. Dog, when they're stealing eggs, you can see all the eggs in the mouth. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna be caught with the egg in the mouth, and you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna suffer the embarrassment forever. Not the angel party, like your husband that you was unfaithful to him or her. They're gonna be the strong ones. They're not gonna go through nothing. Of course they're gonna go through headaches. They're gonna go through pain, all that. But the one that is gonna lose is you, because in the future, when you're gonna go find somebody else, and they find out about you, what you did to your husband or your wife, they're going to say, you know what? I'm going to have this cup of tea and I'm going to mind my business. You understand what I mean now? Think about it. You're going to have a record. You're going to have a credit, credit report. Your credit score goes down. You cannot get no credit, like that. So what happened when you have a bad record, a bad, terrible record of yourself, that you are a loose person, and you like to play around, you like to joke around, you're not serious, and you're hurting hearts everywhere. Women or men, they're gonna think 300 times before they even think about getting together with you. they're gonna say, let me think about it. But a lot of people don't think. They just get into the relationship and they end up messing up again. And that's happened with my ex-wife. My second ex-wife, she had a lot of men. The first man, she had three girls. They were very big and everything. And then she met this other guy, and they broke up. And that guy, he confessed to one of our daughters that he said that your mom, she's a very wicked person. This person is toxic like hell. That's why I broke up from her. Because she met him downtown, Guadalupe, in Zacatecas. She was walking around and she met him. And she said, hey, Dad, what made you break up from my mother? What made you break away from my mother? Why you guys broke up, whatever? He told her, I'm sorry, but your mother, she's not cut out for marriage. This woman doesn't respect. She's very toxic. She's like this, she's like that. That's why I ran out of there. I left. Because she very unsupportive person. Very unsupportive. And the first husband used to beat the crap out of her. And my ex-wife used to tell me that. And then I asked the daughter, and I said, if it's true. And she told me, honestly, Eugene, she called me Dad. She said, honestly, Dad, my mother, it was mainly most of her fault that she got beat up because she was asking for it. Because she did not respect no one. Every guy she saw, every guy she was with, she didn't last no more than 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, whatever. So I'm saying, it's terrible. It's terrible. You cannot be like that. You got to be a very serious woman or man if you want to have a real serious character by yourself, that you get respected. So when you meet somebody, they'll respect you. So this is a man, this is a good man. He went through a divorce, and his wife or his husband, whatever, plays stupid, whatever. And now, but this guy's serious. This guy's a real man, and I like this guy. He's serious. So if you want to go in that route, that's your call. Now, if you want to be serious, a man of good character, a good man that is very respectful and everything, or woman, whatever, and then you'll be okay. Other than that, don't get married. Don't bother. Stay single. Go do something else. Go dedicate yourself to sell tamales or pasteles, chingadera, whatever you want to do. But don't come into somebody's life and make their life miserable. Because the one's going to lose is going to be you, not the other person, you. That's why I had to leave my wife, because she was very unsupportive. Very coquetona. Coquetona means she's very loose and show off. Just because she had big boobs and she had big this and big that, she was a good looking woman. For 63, 64 years old, she looked like a freaking teenager. She looked very attractive. So when I was dating her, when I was with her being married, she was very, very loose. Very loose. Like, what the heck? What are you doing? Sometimes I get shocked. I said, what the hell are you doing? She said, what do you mean? I said, what are you doing? You're freaking married. Stop it. She said, oh, what do you think you are? You think you're better than anybody else? I said, it's not that. You got married to me. Act like a married woman. Do you see me around coqueteando and messing with women and trying to look cool and all that kind of crap? No, I don't, right? So then stop it. Oh, she used to get pissed off. She didn't like that. She didn't like that crap. She said, I'm sorry, pal. I am pretty and I'm Mrs. Universe. I'm the Coca-Cola of the desert, and that's it. I said, okay, keep your Coca-Cola over there. I'm going back to Texas. That's it. You can go out with these people. You can. So anyway, that's my advice to you. My advice to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you the ABCs of this thing. So you take it from there. It's up to you. God bless.